So friends, let's see today's lovely Goan garam masala powder recipe. Let me take you through all of the ingredients first. Here I have 2-star anise, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1 mace which is also called javitri, 3/4 of a teaspoon of cloves or lavang, 1 teaspoon of poppy seeds also called khaskhas, and about 3 cardamoms also called elaichi. Besides that, I have 1/4 of a cup of coriander seeds or dhania. Then I have 1.5 tablespoons of fennel seeds called sauf, 1.5 tablespoons of peppercorns or miri, 12 pieces or half an inch of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of grated nutmeg, about 6 dried red chilies. Now I'm just going to grate this nutmeg using a small grater. You can also use a cheese grater. It comes to around 1 teaspoon. Now we're going to take a pan. On a low to medium heat, once your pan is a little bit hot, you're going to add all the spices except the grated nutmeg. So just add all of the spices. We're going to start with the coriander seeds. Then I'm going to add the fennel. Then goes in the peppercorns. We're going to roast this for at least 3 minutes. Then the cinnamon sticks. Now my flame is on very low. Then we're going to add each of the garam masalas, the whole spices as well as the khaskhas. Now this, after you grind this should give you about a 1/4 kg of masala, that is about 250 grams. So if you want to make a larger quantity, just double it. Like if you want to make half a kg, double all the ingredients. If you want to make 1 kg, then 4 times all of the ingredients. So I like to make this in small batches of 1/4 kilos, because then I like to make it fresh all the time. I don't like masalas to stay very long. So this lasts me for a good amount of time, because anyway garam masala, nobody uses a very big quantity of garam masala. At the most you'll use maximum about a teaspoon of garam masala. Nobody goes above that. And that's why I make it in smaller batches. But if you want to make a bigger batch, you can do that. And now we're going to turn off the heat, and with the residue heat, let the mixture cool. And only once the mixture cools, you're going to add it to your dry mixer jar along with the nutmeg powder, and then grind it to a very, very fine powder. Now this garam masala can be used for most of the chicken curries. This is not used for fish. I'll be adding the fish masala later on. And now comes the famous Goan xacuti powder masala. Just like the name goes, you can use this when you're making xacuti. So now I'm going to be using 2 bay leaves, also called tej patta. Then I'm going to be using half an inch of cinnamon or dalchini. Next goes about 20 peppercorns, also called meerem. Then I'm going to be using half a teaspoon of nutmeg, which I'm going to grate and then add. 3 tablespoons of coriander seeds or dhania, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1/4 teaspoon of methi seeds or fenugreek, 2 tablespoons of fennel seeds or sauf, half a teaspoon of black cumin or shaha jeera, 1 tablespoon of poppy seeds or khaskhas, 6 cloves, also called lavang or long, 5 cardamoms or elaichi, 1 star anise, also called chakra fool, which is in the shape of a star, 1 mace, also called javitri. So these are all the spices that will go into our xacuti powder masala. Besides this, I'll be using 1 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of Goan garam masala, which I've just shown you, and 2 teaspoons of red chili powder. Now if you don't have the Goan garam masala ready, you can use regular garam masala. So now these are all the lovely Indian spices that we have and we are blessed with to make this beautiful xacuti powder. I'm also going to leave a link to my xacuti curry recipe. Now first what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these 3 powders together till they're blended in nicely. And now I'm going to keep my pan on a low to medium heat. I'm going to add the spices one by one, starting with the velchi, the star anise, the cinnamon, the mace, all of the whole spices that we have. And you're going to roast this, stirring it continuously. Don't leave it unattended because then it tends to get burnt. So keep your eye on it, keep it on a low to medium flame, and then you'll get this beautiful aroma of the spices. Once it is done, just turn off the heat, and with the residue heat, let it cool completely. Now I'm going to transfer it to a plate so that it completely cools down. Don't grind when it is warm. Let it completely cool. And now I'm going to add it to my dry mixer jar. Oh, the aroma in my kitchen is fabulous. And now I've ground this to a very fine powder. I'm going to transfer it to a bowl. And now you remember I mixed those 3 powders together. We're just going to mix that in as well. And now you can just use a small whisk or a teaspoon and just mix all of this really well together. A whisk does the job really well. And then your lovely xacuti powder masala is all ready. Store it in a very clean, dry glass bottle preferably. So let's see how to prepare this lovely fish masala powder. Now I've taken about 10 Kashmiri red dried chilies. My pan is heating up on a low to medium heat. I'm going to roast this for 3 minutes and set it aside. Now we will need 2 bay leaves or tej patta, 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds or dhania, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds or sauf, 1 teaspoon of haldi powder, 10 peppercorns or miri, 1 inch of cinnamon, and about 4 cloves. So now we're not going to roast any of these spices. Only the red chilies we have roasted, and we're going to transfer the red chilies which we have roasted along with the other spices. So first I'm going to grind the red chilies, and then I'm going to add these spices directly. We're not going to roast these like we do generally. We're just going to put all of this together and we're going to grind it to a very fine powder. So this is a nice fish masala. You can just apply it to the fish and fry it, or you can also add it to your fish curries. So once you grind this, just run it through a sieve 2 or 3 times, and whatever residue remains on top, again grind it and put it into the sieve and sieve it. So I'm going to regrind this. This is how you make this lovely fish masala. So let's see the ingredients for today's Goan samareche curry powder. You can make this at home. I'm going to be using 6 cloves or lavangs, 1 inch of cinnamon or dalchini, 2 bay leaves, 1 mace or javitri, now I'm going to be using a small piece of nutmeg or za'atar like this, and I'm going to grate it till I get about 1/4 of a teaspoon of this za'atar or grated nutmeg powder, 4 dried red chilies, 2 star anise, half a teaspoon of cumin or jeera seeds, about 16 peppercorns, which we call meeri, 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds or sauf, 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds or methi seeds, 1 tablespoon of raw rice. You can use any rice of what you regularly use in your cooking, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds or dhania. Now we're going to dry roast all of this in a large pan like this in the sequence that I'm showing you. So you're going to start with the coriander seeds, just lightly roast them. Next, I'm going to add the cumin seeds or the jeera, the sauf or the fennel seeds. Now I'm going to add the raw rice. Next, I'm going to add the fenugreek seeds and the peppercorns. Now keep your flame on low to medium and keep lightly, just gently stirring all the spices. Now I'm going to add the bay leaves. Next, I'm going to add the star anise, the mace, the cloves, and the cinnamon. Now, I'm not going to be adding the nutmeg powder when we are roasting all the spices. We're going to add it at the end when we're going to grind all these spices. So don't add the nutmeg powder. Now, I'm going to add the dried red chilies. I've just taken off the tips. Now, dry roast all of this for another 5 minutes till you start getting the lovely aroma of all the spices. Keep an eye on it. See that your flame is nice and low. And keep stirring it continuously. Now, after 5 minutes, turn off the heat. And now we're going to transfer this to a glass bowl or a glass plate or a steel plate because we want these spices to cool down completely before we dry grind them. Now I'm just making a small quantity, about 100 grams, but you can make a larger quantity. You can just double up the ingredients accordingly. This will give you exactly 100 grams of the curry powder. So once it's completely cooled, I'm going to transfer it to a dry mixer jar. Ensure that your mixer jar is nice and dry. Wipe it clean. You can even sun dry it. And then add all the ingredients. And now we're going to add the grated nutmeg or za'atar at this stage. And now we're going to dry grind this to a very, very fine powder like this. And that's it. Your Goan samarache kori masala is all ready. And you can use it for various recipes. I will be showing you all a recipe in which I'm going to be using this curry powder very soon. So stay tuned to Akshata's recipes. And thank you so much for watching. And I will catch you in my next video. Take care, guys. Akshata signing off. Bye. Start by making this jeerem meerem masala. And remember, this is just enough for 250 grams of chicken. I will leave instructions for a little bigger batch, which you can store in your refrigerator in a clean, dry glass bottle. So this is just enough for today's recipe. That is the measurement of the spices. I'm going to be using 4 teaspoons of cumin powder or jeera powder, 3 teaspoons of black pepper powder,
1 teaspoon of clove powder. Now just roast these whole spices separately and just grind them in your mixer pot. 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, and half a teaspoon of red chili powder. So just mix all of this together, and that is...
So friends, today we're going to do 3 Goan fish masala pastes. First we're going to start for a green masala which you can use for making fresh bombil. You just stuff the bombil with this masala. So now here are the ingredients. I'm going to be using half a cup of fresh coriander leaves or kothimbir. So that you wash and dry your kothimbir really well. Then we're going to use 4 green chilies, half a lime or lemon, about half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 12 peppercorns, 1 inch of ginger, and 5 garlic cloves, some salt to taste, and sugar 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of salt should also be sufficient. We're just going to grind everything together. No adding any water, just the lemon juice, and grind it to a very fine paste. So clean your bombil really well, cut it, take out all the water, and then just add this green paste, coat it with some breadcrumbs or with some rava and rice flour, and fry it. So that is our fresh bombil green masala. Now I'm going to show you how to make tisreo masala. Now all these recipes are there on my channel. I will leave a link below. If I forget, just go and type Akshita's tisreo masala recipe and you will get my recipe. But I will try and remember to put the recipes down. So now we require about 5 dried red chilies, half a teaspoon of cumin, a few peppercorns, 6 peppercorns, 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds, 6 cloves of garlic, half an inch of ginger, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and about 1 cup of fresh grated coconut. So you don't take off the stems of the red chilies, wash them well, dry them well, add all of this to a mixer jar, except for the coconut. And you want to put a little bit of water and grind it to a paste. And then you're just going to mix this masala with the grated coconut. And don't grind the coconut. And this is your tisreo masala ready. Like I said, I will try and remember to put the recipes of the tisreo and the bombil fry. But if I don't, just go and search for them and just write Akshita's recipes. You should find them. And if I don't, then remind me in the comment section of this particular recipe. And third is our famous Goan recheado masala. So these are all the lovely ingredients. And you can see I'm going to grind it on my masala stone or vada, which I love because you're going to grind it in vinegar and it doesn't do justice in the mixer jar. Although when I'm in a hurry, I do it in the mixer jar. But when I have time and I'm in the mood of really grinding it on the masala stone, I do it. Okay, the rest of the ingredients. So I've removed the chili stems. I've taken about 10 to 12, 1 teaspoon of jeera, a little bit of tamarind, 15 to 20 garlic cloves, and half a small onion, 1 inch of ginger, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 12 peppercorns, and salt and sugar. And of course, we're going to grind this in 1/4 glass of vinegar, which is 1/4 cup of vinegar. So first you remove the stems of the chilies. Now if you're grinding it on the vata, then first you need to crush all these ingredients like the pepper and the jeera and everything, the dry ingredients, and then you go for the wet ingredients. How many of you all like to grind on the grinding stone? If you'll have a chance, write in the comment section. When I was a kid, I was assigned this duty when I used to go to my Nana and Papa's house in Goa. So they had this kind of a vata and they had the big rogdo. And since I was on holiday and there was no television, there was no entertainment except books and radio. And that also they used to only play the Goan, Konkani songs. Nothing else was available. So then I was free. So then my grandma used to tell me, okay, now you start grinding the masala. it used to take forever, but I used to enjoy myself. So whenever I grind on the stone, it brings back, childhood memories of my holidays, my mini holidays in Goa, which was almost every year. So just grind this to a very nice fine paste. Like I said, when I'm in a hurry and I don't have the time, I just grind it in my mixer jar. But it has a different taste if you grind it on the masala stone. So that's how you grind this recipe, and this is how you make your recipe. So friends, how can we forget the Goan Sorpotel masala paste recipe? So let's go through all of the ingredients. So here I have 10 peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1 inch of cinnamon or dalchini, 6 cloves or lavang, 15 red dried chilies. This is Sorpotel, so lots of dried red chilies for the color and the taste. Half a teaspoon of turmeric or haldi powder, 1 inch of ginger, 10 cloves of garlic. Sorpotel is spicy, so the garlic also adds this lovely flavor. 1/4 cup of vinegar. Like you all know, Sorpotel again, like recheado, is drowned in vinegar. So now I'm going to put all the ingredients into my mixer jar and grind them with some vinegar. And that is our Sorpotel masala all ready. So let's see how to make this cafreal paste. These are the few ingredients that we will require. Now I'll just take you through them. So this is 1 inch of cinnamon or dalchini, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, 10 to 12 peppercorns. This is 1 teaspoon of cumin or jeera, 8 cloves, which is also called lavang. So this is what the cloves are. Now besides this, we also need some other few ingredients. So these are 4 green chilies. You can use the light or the dark. Half an inch of ginger, 4 cloves of garlic,
1 cup of fresh coriander, half a teaspoon of tamarind soaked in about 1/4 cup of water for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to take out only the pulp of the tamarind. We're going to use that. Now I have a recipe for chicken cafreal. I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can go and see how to make that. And some salt to taste. So now in my grinder, I'm going to add my green chilies, my ginger and my garlic. So I'm just going to take off the tips of the garlic, of the chilies. So you can use a knife or a scissor, a kitchen scissor. So you can make this cafreal masala and keep it in your refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days. And then you can, make your chicken cafreal whenever you feel like making it. You can also make mushroom cafreal. So now I've just ground this to a paste, and now I'm going to add my fresh coriander leaves. Now what I generally do is I soak my coriander leaves in some water, to which I add a little bit of salt for about 15 minutes, and then wash the coriander leaves under running water thoroughly. So now this is our paste. And now I'm going to add the dry ingredients. Now I'm not going to add the haldi powder because it discolors my mixer, so I'll add that a little later on. And now I'm going to add this tamarind water that we, made by soaking the tamarind and then extracting it, and some salt to taste. So again, I'm going to grind everything to a very, very fine paste like this. And now I'm going to transfer this to a clean bowl or to a bottle, which I can store in my refrigerator. But of course, we got to add our turmeric powder first. So I'll just transfer this to a nice clean bowl. Now once you grind this, you'll get the beautiful aroma of all the fresh ingredients and the spices. Now we didn't add any water, we just added the tamarind water. And now I'm going to add my haldi powder and then mix everything nicely together. And that's it, friends, your cafreal masala is all ready. So do check out my chicken cafreal recipe in the description box below and do try it out. I'll catch you soon in my next recipe. Bye!